Native Element is somewhat contentious in the Angular world, but at its core, it's pretty basic and uncontroversial. When developing for a browser client, Native Element is simply a DOM node, an HTML element somewhere in the DOM. In the picture on the screen there, each div and paragraph element is a DOM node, and so can be represented by Native Element. My caveat of when developing for a browser client is important, and it hints at the controversy swirling around Native Element and its use. The above holds true when developing for a browser client. The same does not hold true if developing for some other client, or for an environment that doesn't understand DOM nodes in the sense that a browser does, namely for server-side rendering or web workers. And that gets us to the heart of the important stuff you need to know about Native Element. It's there, it's available, it should be used, but only in certain ways and for certain things. That's what we're going to cover in the next few minutes, how and when to use Native Element. This is what the Angular team has to say about using Native Element. It's a big caution call out on the Element Ref documentation page, warning you of the dangers of this element. In order to understand why there are rules around using Native Element, you need to understand the potential problems it creates when used improperly. These were alluded to in the warning from the Angular team on the last page, but let's call them out here. First, it tightly couples your back-end code to your front-end presentation. Second, it's unavailable and universal, which means, among other things, no server-side rendering. And third, you can't move any logic directly using Native Element into a web worker. You knew there had to be a but. There always is. All of these are surmountable problems if you use Native Element properly. So let's look at what that means.